Here we are enjoying July and the summer with Dr. Linda S. Spedding, and she is at the moment in USA, in Pennsylvania. And I'm here in Lapland, in Rovaniemi, the city of Santa Claus, funnily. But we travel a lot, both of us. So often when we meet in Zoom, we might be at many locations. You might be in Germany, you might be in US, you might be in India, you might be in UK, and I might be in different countries as well. Last time I was in New York.
Thank you, Sini. The whole idea is that travel is the greatest teacher, isn't it?
And today we have a really important, quite spiritual subject as well. With Linda, we share these spiritual feelings and wishes for contemplation and meditation in life. And in general, we believe in the unity of different elements and the global being a one unit with functioning things, also dealing with nature. So today we're speaking about the 5 elements, and Linda has great angles how to open the subject for us. But I'll just quickly say that the 5 elements are earth, water, fire, air, and space, spirit, or ether. It has many names as it is a loved thing. So how would you like to open the subject to us, Linda, today?
Yes, thank you, Sini, very much for this opportunity for us to have another dialogue. I think that in my mind, the way we are taught traditionally about the 5 elements and has left us a little bit remote from them, not have a relationship with them. As you've spelled them out very beautifully, we are actually always experiencing the 5 elements every single day, every single moment of our lives. And wherever we are, we may have, for better or worse, more awareness. I think the problem has been that, like with climate change, we have been taught quite a lot about fear, about fearing the elements rather than loving the elements and being grateful to the elements. So what mean by that is we often hear news about disasters, for example, which may or may not have been preventable, but in any case add to the fear, whereas in fact these 5 elements are rather like 5 gods, if you like, who are offering services to us, who are providing us with protection, just like planet Earth provides us with protection, is like our mother. So in fact, if we respect and nurture the elements, look after the water, look after the earth in particular, look after the all of the clear air, clear skies, if we do our bit, take responsibility for our bit, then these elements will actually always take care of us. So the fact is that I would like today to think about when I did these rhymes for Eni, one a day, I picked on by chance the theme that Mother Earth and the 5 elements support us throughout. Now that is part of also the Vedic tradition, which of course I have found has taught me a massive amount, which I hadn't learned before I traveled to India and spent time researching that philosophy. But basically, one stanza which I'd like to just say, speak just through to you right now, that we've written in Balanced Yoga, is that lessons are learned from many sources, including the elements of nature. Mountains represent firmness and stability. In rivers, we find fluidity and flexibility. Trees illustrate the ability of endurance and forbearance, and the sun teaches us to shine without expectation or discrimination. The clarity of the sky and the patience of the earth can serve as constant reminders and examples to us. Now, what I'm trying to explain here is that all of these concepts can enhance our joy of life, our joy of living, our joy, whatever age we are. But the sooner we understand and appreciate these aspects, that we are not just human beings in a material world, the sooner we can really have some fulfillment and joy. And that's what Eni's world is all about. So, as we discussed last time, it's all about actually honoring all the jivas, all the beings on the planet. But in this, as we start talking, it's about beyond that, the elements that make this planet whole, that enable us all to be, as you say, living as one big family on the planet, all with our doing our best to look after it so that in turn we can have a happy, healthy life.
It's wonderful, and it also opens up a lot of new connections to many things that are normal in life. When people research the five elements, they're like, hey, wow, this is a possibility to do so many other things and to expand my own connection to this. Like my favorite element, of course, they all are lovely, but my favorite is the water, of course, the water cycles and the oceans. And it's like a continuous artistic inspiration to learn about the marine life. Like my last finding was something that is perfectly normal to many people, but to me it was new, that when you dive to certain levels in the ocean, the color red is gone. So after a certain meter you reach, there's no red to be observed anywhere, only with artificial light. So
Ah,
it's like, okay, these fish are still red down there. The red has a meaning. And maybe the marine life, their vision or their senses are able to see that red down there that our eyes cannot anymore when the spectrum red is gone. So these things I think are so fascinating about how nature and these elements are. And when I looked at those photos of diving, when people are there with no artificial light, but the sun is still penetrating to that zone, but the red is not. So it's like a blue, purple, green world with browns only, or something like that. But there's no red. And the red is like our reality. So of
yeah,
course it is on more like lower levels, and the beautiful corals we can see and all that beauty of the red in the ocean, but only up to a certain level, and then it's gone. So it's like, wow, the reality to us is spectrum, all these colors that we know how the colors are in their order always in spectrum, and the color wheel, which is a spiritual thing with the chakras as well, the same
yeah,
order, those colors, but the red is gone. And that is the color of root chakra, the earth,
yes,
the element of earth, and this is missing in the ocean. And
yeah.
how interesting, because the seabed is the element of earth, but still the color world is not like that. So as an artist, of course, my mind is like totally inspired by all these styles of that color range.
Well, that was amazing. I was not aware of that. I didn't know that.
I wasn't either before like last spring I started to research. I was like, what, how did I miss this one? I had
Yeah.
never seen it before, but that's how the nature and oceans and all these five elements, they always.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we start with actually following up what we did on World Ocean Day and think about that without water, there is no life. Actually, without the sun, there's no life. Without, I mean, we can say that, but water in particular, because we are the blue planet and we're known for that, um, and our bodies, we are water. The fact is that our affinity to water is massive. And we did do actually in the Eni rhymes about Eni's wonderful waterways, because we the ocean is again a world of its own. It has it's continuing while we're continuing busy on Earth doing our bits and pieces. There's a massively beautiful world that fortunately has remained largely untouched where we have affected it, it's been to pollute it. And that is another like stark reminder of how our footprint on the planet needs to be much lighter. We have to be much more careful in every way. I mean, evidently, even our rubbish has gone up to space, and we are, affecting space as well as the lands, the landfill, the oceans. We have to change our ways, and we can do it, and we can do it happily. We have to go back to paper bags, not plastic. Plastic has to be kind of basically removed from our lifestyles. But when I've seen some of those beautiful underwater films, and you see the marvel at the colors of just the species that are there, it is absolutely fantastic. And I think these are aspects of education that needs to be imparted when the children are little, when they're open to everything, when everything is magical, and even showing a child a leaf and explaining about a leaf is can be for them wonderful, full of wonder. Whereas when we're older and we've kind of been affected by all the externals, we don't get to that beautiful energy so easily. So the earlier that we can feel that affinity with all of the elements, it's terribly important. And I think it would be a lovely idea to think about the key role that the elements play in our lives and give examples of that in our talks as we go forward, because many people, sadly, those who are caught up in the modern world, not necessarily the people who remain in traditional lifestyles, they have lost touch with that. And it's a great service to remind people. One of the ways we do it is through walking meditation, yoga, walking meditation. Even by we have actually designed walking meditation trails over the years, and of course now people do that tree hugging. We've done that for many years because in India, the Chipko movement, which I went on in the Himalaya, the women hugged the trees to save the trees instead of their lives when people were cutting trees down. So that affinity with the gifts that the planet Earth has given us is such an example that we can really respect and admire and try and integrate, and enjoy. I mean, there's lots of fun one has in nature which you can't have in a designed by man recreation place. So we are trying to re-inspire all of that connection, and I know you, with certainly with the oceans, are doing the same. Rather than have a day out by the sea and just make noise and just why not listen to the ocean, listen to those sounds, lie on the beach, relax, and listen, and not make noise ourselves. It's so soothing. And, with that conch shell, all these traditional curing methods that we can reconnect with. And it's kind of urgent because people are in a major turbulent, crisis ridden mental state often. Well being is hardly there among all sorts of generations or universally. So I think that we need to see this also as a, a reminder, a healing reminder for us all as human beings. I mean, I know that you in Lapland and Finland, you actually do remind people of the lights in the sky, the Arctic lights. I mean, all these wondrous shows of nature that are happening, and I think this is a service, not just a tourist experience. These kind of reconnections can go to the heart of reminding people how they can actually feel real gratitude for being in this planet. So yeah, I think we this is a marvelous subject, and the connection I have made has been with yoga, outdoor yoga, walking meditation and contemplation, having a lovely stanza of usually of gratitude, something positive. And that is amazing how that clears the negative energy that one may be feeling with the frustration with the world events, for example, or because there's something gone wrong in your day that you think has set you upset, made you upset. So going to hug a tree makes all the difference. That and energy with the earth, the element of the earth is tremendous, like walking in bare feet on the land, on the grass. All of these things are simple but have a huge impact on our health and happiness.
And if we let our heart kind of guide us, because I was here in Lapland walking by these old granite stones, and I always felt really good in one particular place. And later on, heard from the people in the museum that it was an old ritual place for Stone Age people. And there
Yeah,
was like a field of stones, and I thought the ice ages had brought them down because it was a hill, but these people had carried them. It was an island before, and they had their sacred rituals a long time ago. So I thought that was magical that I could feel still how good it felt to be there. And
yes,
so this fifth element of space, of that ether, of the spirit, it is
yeah,
intertwining everything from past, present, tomorrow. It just makes a movement, just like wind and just like waters. So does the ether. And if people find this, they find so much richness to their spiritual life. And it's not the metropole work life or the office. We can adapt it into our daily lives. Many people think it's something else, it's something out there for the spiritual people, so to say, but it's not, it's for everyone. And as a Finnish person, we're very connected to nature, so it's my temple practically. But over here, we are, I guess, more sensitive to it because when you're in the nature, your phones are off and the TV is off. So you become more sensitive when the noise is shut from the ears and you don't have something in there. Like when I was in New York, the noise is so huge in Manhattan all the time that it's just like suffocating my spirit. I feel it's like
yeah,
packing the spirit into a small space, and
yeah,
there's no room for that because
yeah.
of the noise everywhere. So we need to be careful how we
Well,
uh,
it's
intake
overwhelming.
messages.
Yeah, Sini, it's overwhelming the noise that human beings are making. I
Yes,
mean,
yes,
we are a noisy species, and we're meant to be stewards of but um, we often do these silent, activities, and it's amazing how much restoration to the spirit you have in silence. Even quiet, but silence is best, and you can feel so much more in silence. You can actually be aware so much more. I was listening to a program about how plants can hear various sounds and respond. I mean, frankly, the more the research comes out, the more all the things we're talking about that were known by the mystics and sages are being endorsed. And we should take a leap of faith about it. This creation is so fantastic, these elements are so fantastic. We are, the rain comes now. We're in the month of Shravan in India, the monsoon. And in the olden days, people used to be so connected because it was an agricultural, agrarian type of lifestyle, especially in the Vedic times. And the farmers would be dancing and singing when the rain came, and such a lovely, pure, response, and but we've these seasons are so fantastic, and the more sunshine, more heat, then more the first of all during now there's lots and lots of rain, depending around India, especially in I'm that is my experience. So when it's almost romantic. You kind of that sound of the rain, the warm rain actually, and then that enables the plants to get cracking, and it's just a fantastic connection that's made by nature. All of it done by nature. We do nothing. I mean, we may try say we've planted something, but actually I don't know about you, but I've seen plants and flowers arrive on walls that they've just done it themselves, you know? We are just interfering often, not necessarily even supporting it. And we wonder, crikey, there's a flower halfway up a wall, it's done it, found its own world, created its own life. And that is so, and that's such an example too, because they do that. Like we get so affected by others and their opinions and all those things. Nature, that you just see it strives and survives without any of that disturbance and distraction of others or whatever. It's really, I think, nature watching, engaging with these five elements, even the air. I mean, breathing without light, without prana, we can't. We're not even able to live, and we take it all for granted that
Yeah.
every morning there's going to be some air.
Yeah, we need it to survive, and it needs to be clean air as well. So we need to, we cannot take that for granted, just like you said. And if we think of air and the element, that's one element, but then the element of fire, it does not begin without air. And it needs a certain temperature, it needs a certain conditions. The
Yeah,
element of earth, it needs to be to
yeah.
something to burn. So everything is kind of
Well, that's
connected.
well, that's how they learned about fire, wasn't it? When they got they rubbed, uh, and so we, in these days, take all of this for granted. We light a match, and we expect it to go on fire, don't we? And it, you know, and it's
That's true.
actually magical stuff happening all the time, and the fact that we can talk, communicate, and hear each other, and all of this is like magical, actually. You know, the fact that you're sitting in a room surrounded by dolphins.
AI, my AI buddy is here. So it's uh, it's also highly entertaining, and it shows our sides that hey, we're working on serious things. We want the Earth to continue. We want people to have a safe place to live here when our time is over. But we also enjoy laughing, humor, funny things, fun things. So it's good to give yourself a little bit of that, those funny dolphin moments in the way that not to take things too seriously, but to go very forcefully forward. And I think this video, I wish, um, is heard by many. It's quite a long video, but I think it's a good message to share. And I
Yeah,
hope people have the time to listen to this because we will later on make shorter videos of each element as such. But
exactly.
in general, this topic might be so unknown to many people who see it that the links that we share and they will go and see our work. But of course, we need to go on with the work and we're looking for cooperators. We're looking for spaces where we can speak to public audiences and make new videos with our collaborators. I wouldn't use the word sponsor as much as patron because we need to continue freely to do our work and support. But
Yeah.
but it's fun to be a part of a program that is real, and we are. So, and Dini's world is like, if you don't influence children, how will you ever, make a big impact? You must begin very early and teach them the five elements. Teach their parents the five elements if they don't know about it, and
Exactly.
share, and then go deeper from the basic information, like, how can I today have water be more meaningful to me? Well, I was inspired that spectrum loses its red when I dive into a certain level, but I would never, to be honest, have the courage to dive that deep. I would be so scared. I would be scared my blood pressure goes up the roof and a shark comes my way. So these cute AI animals are perfect for me, but in many ways, I just admire people who do that, and I look at
Yeah.
their videos. And in this way, the water to my life through their videos that they do, and then
Yes.
I can learn more and share
Yeah.
stories in the other direction. So we want also to open to that.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're all we're all different. We're all individuals, and I think they're quite right. We should all take time to pause, just reflect, thank the creation, thank the universe for the wonder of these elements, and from then on, let's go deeper into each one. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda, for being here today. It was so nice to talk to you. And really, we bless all the listeners and hope everybody has a wonderful day and goes deeper into the subject. So, see you soon.
Thank you. Yes. Bye. Bye.